Okay, today's talk is called We Are Born into a Hell Realm, Take 2. So in Buddhism, like one of the realms is the Hell Realm, and some people say that this is the Hell Realm, that this life on planet Earth is the Hell Realm. So let's just have an examination of that. So these bodies are born, and they come from particular family history. So they come with habits and conditions that go back through many thousands and thousands of generations. They go back right to the very beginning of the first organism that existed. They go right back to the Big Bang, in fact. You can't really separate it out. So these bodies are born, but who we truly are is never born. Who we truly are is this empty looking, or consciousness, and the beingness, sense of aliveness. So that is not born, that always was and always is. But these bodies are born, and after a couple of years of apparent life, the consciousness and the beingness seemingly gets identified with the body-mind mechanism, with all its habits and conditions and biology. So some people believe that the habits and the conditions are from previous lives, and some of people just believe it comes from your ancestors. It's up to your interpretation. So when the consciousness and the beingness identify with the person, I would say it is a life of suffering. So yes, I would say that that is going into a hell realm. As soon as that identification happens, the hell realm begins. And my experience now of being at a very young age of 44, 44, is that if people don't begin to go inwards and examine their experience, people's lives just get worse and worse and worse. That sounds really harsh to say, but just from watching people around me, if they're not doing that inward exploration, the body ages, so the work in which we have to do becomes harder as the body ages. And then people are making choices which aren't healthy choices. They're normally choices out of stress, out of fear, out of anxiety, out of a desperation. So they're not making healthy choices. So their body is naturally aging. They've identified with the habits and the conditions. So who they truly are has seemingly become limited. And then their seeking and their discomfort gets greater and greater as they age, because they don't make wise choices out of limitlessness, out of freedom. They're making choices out of a contraction, out of fear, out of identification, out of anxiety, out of lack. So therefore they are just adding, they're like piling it on top more and more and more. And yes, I would say it's a hell realm. I watch people around me, and as you get older, especially when you begin to have kids and you're working, like life is getting more and more stressful because you've got more and more to do. You're not making right choices. So then when you're not working or looking after the kids, you're most probably binge watching TV or exhausted. So like overeating, drinking alcohol to relax, taking drugs to relax, maybe on medication. And so that all affects the body negatively. So it makes the body more sick. And then on top of that, they've got the natural destiny of getting older, that the body is going to decay. So things are going to seemingly go wrong more and more for this body. It's not really wrong, but wrong in terms of the body is going to get sicker. There is going to be more physical problems. There's going to be less energy. If you're a woman, you're going to go through a massive hormonal change, starting, like late 30s for some people, and then going on till 60s. Some people say that it never ends. for the woman. And men goes through a massive hormonal change. Then we're also in an environment that is highly toxic. We are consuming immense amount of plastic from our environment, which also will physically affect our body. We're consuming so much screen time, which is overstimulating dopamine in our mind, we're getting very short attention spans. But then also using the screen into the evening is not good for our brains for sleep. So most probably people's sleep is affected. So yes, if you have not begun to look inwards, then your life is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And the seeking is going to get more and more and more intense. Seeking is identification. When you've identified with, when there has been identification with being the body-mind mechanism, so consciousness and beingness is no longer free and expansive and limitless, it is identified with the habits and the conditions and the physicality of this body, and then it's seeking to try to get rest, because it cannot get rest when it's identified. Yeah. So yes, I would say we are living in a hell realm if there hasn't been the inward journey. So what is the inward journey? The inward journey to the nose. We're going inside the nostril. The inward journey is exploring who you truly are. And Nisargadatta would say, and Ananda Mahima would say, it's you're no longer outward facing. Your mind is no longer just outward facing. So just looking at things, at pleasure, at sensations, at events, at circumstances, you're facing inwards. And when we face inwards, so when we turn around and start asking who we are, there's a phenomenal ride. Because what we begin to learn is that our essence, what's actually experiencing now, is limitless. And all of this is a mask that we've put on. And then we've seemingly got lost in it. The hair is a mask, the earpods are a mask, the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, the lips, the clothes, the skin, all of it is a mask of what we truly are. So you could think of it like a cup. So we have a cup, my beautiful cup here. This looks very grotty because I just had a hot chocolate in it. My new favourite drink, cacao. So we've got a cup, we've got a glass. So in the middle of the glass, there is space. Limitless space. And that space is not like cut in two, that there's space out here and then space in there. It's the same space. And we know that. We just intuitively know that space is space. It isn't space outside the cup and space inside the cup. It's the same. Like, if I go like that, it's the same space that goes in and around the cup. And what happens is we put a cup around the space, or we build a cup and it looks like there is space inside the cup that's contained. But if I were now to have like He-Man arms and just to crush this glass, say I crushed it, would the space be affected? And the answer is no. The space would be exactly the same. If that's hard for you to imagine, you can imagine me having a paper cup, It's hard to imagine that I have muscles. If you imagine a paper cup, when I crunch the cup, it's exactly the same space and the space was never affected. And that's the same as what we are, our essence. This is the beauty of non-duality. This is the divinity of what is our essence is never affected by this mask that we put on, by these clothings we put on, this skin, this lips, this hair. When we believe that we are this hair, this body, this nose, then we enter the hell realm. Because this is impermanent. It's going to end. And it's a lie, so you're always fighting life. What you are is the space inside the cup, inside the body. You are the no thing and the everything. what is traditionally taught in Advaita, which is the tradition in which I come from, it is you are consciousness and beingness. And the place in which you look to find your true self is the personal consciousness, so the personalized consciousness, and the personalized beingness, which is I am. So you begin to look that way, and they are like the gateless gate, or the bridge to the infinite, to the big consciousness, to the beingness. And as you look, it's like the Pac-Man when it eats itself, you disappear. You know how like he touches a ghost, the Pac-Man, and then he disappears and eats himself by his head going backwards. And it's the same, as you begin to go inwards and look at who is looking, you begin to disappear in it. So this is the spectacular journey. And if you want to step out of the hell realm, then you have to investigate who you are. If you keep looking for it in things, in people, in emotions, in behaviors, in shadow work, in money, in tools, in computers, in clothes, in hairstyles, in beauty, if you keep looking for it in all of these things, you will be and remain in the hell realm. There is no freedom there. It will just get worse and worse. The seeking will get exacerbated, will become more and more, and your body, as it gets older, will no longer be able to do all the tasks that it believes it has to do in order to be happy. So the body will get more and more exhausted, but the seeking will be amplified. You'll have more and more things that you feel like you have to do. And more mentality, abstract thinking will arise, and you will then be a walking around mental story that is lost in a daydream that's not true. Yeah. So the answer is in what is experiencing now? Who is experiencing now? And this is the most closest thing to you. It is the consciousness and the sense of being. It's what's always been there, what's never changed, what everything has come and gone in, the body, the environment, the emotions, the feelings. But this has never left. It will never leave. You can go to the moon and it will still be there. You can be in deep sleep and it will still be there. This is the freedom. Nice. So thank you to those on YouTube. If you want to join these talks live in Zoom, then you can join the Telegram group, and you can find the link to that in the box below. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. I really wish you everything.